Hey guys, I hope everybody's doing really great and you're playing a lot of good golf. As always, I'm so honored that I get these emails from folks that are telling me about their scoring breakthroughs. And I'd like to say thank you for all the recent messages that I've gotten because they really instill me with a great sense of confidence in what we're all doing here. And it's just nice to know about. It makes me feel great. So recently, as you all know, I made a video called Swing Reboot where I kind of really started to get squirrely and lost my way. And it caused me to go back through the basics. I rewatched the Hogan Code and started to really rediscover my swing. And there's some very interesting things that have come out of this. Now, everybody knows I was a martial artist, and when I was growing up, Bruce Lee was my idol. And Bruce Lee had a book called The Tao of Jeet Kune Do. And this was one of the important books early on in my life. And there was a very interesting quote that he had. And I know that other people have talked about it, but I believe his quote in the book was, "The height of cultivation leads to simplicity." And I had a video where I had Jean-Jacques Machado talking to Eddie Bravo and Joe Rogan, and he said, yeah, I mean, I relied on one or two techniques that really were my bread and butter, but I knew all of them. I knew 20, 30, whatever, it was. I can do all of them, but we all develop our own kind of style, like our bodies are efficient in certain ways, and so, it becomes simpler as we get better. And that's where I find myself right now. With this last swing reboot, I'm asking myself, or I'm not even asking myself. What I'm just realizing that there are certain basic things that just have to happen. So today I'm going to talk about one of the very first things that I did in my swing evolution that changed my game forever. And you know what? When my El Guapos come up and I start getting into my old habits and swinging with my arms and being a chopper, these things go away. So, but this one basic concept that I'm going to work about today is crucial, because if you're not doing this, it's very likely none of the other stuff is going to work. So what we're talking about today is keeping your head behind the ball. Okay, guys, now we're in business. Let's take a look at this. Boom! You see that? I used to throw my upper body into the ball. I'd lunge forward, and we can see that my head has moved forward probably about 4 inches, I'd estimate. And what this does is it changes all of my angles. And what we'll see with this strike is I go right under the ball because I've changed my relationship that I set up at address, and I end up just popping that ball right up into the air. And you see my body go way forward here, obviously. Okay, guys, let's get started here. So in this video, we can see my address position. The camera's just slightly behind, but that's okay. You can see the ball is being played just inside my left heel. The camera is stationary, so we can take a look at what I'm doing. So let's take a look at the full swing. As you can see, I keep my head steady until the ball has left the club face. So we go back to address, and you can see a nice solid address. Now, as I load into my right side, what you'll see at this point is my left hip has moved all the way inside of this line. I'm going to load that right side, remember. My left hip gets behind the line of the ball. But this is crucial. This is the big move right here. As I load, my old golf swing would be lunging with my upper body. But now I'm keeping my head inside the box as my body is rotating. I'm holding back my arms and shoulders as the hips are moving. And you'll see that left hip now has cleared quite a ways forward. And notice the line is now where my center of gravity is. That's where I'm going to reach the ball. And at impact, you can see that I have my head behind the ball. I have some forward shaft lean. I'm going to make nice solid contact and fire that right arm. And still, you can see that my head is behind the ball, even as the club is pointed straight down the fairway. As I rotate, the momentum pulls me up onto my left side, and I can watch the shot that I just hit. But again, I just don't know how to make this more clear. That, you know, it's pretty simple. You got to keep your head behind the ball. If you're hitting a forehand in tennis, you're never going to be able to hit the ball if your head is in front of the ball, or if you're lunging if you're lunging your shoulders and upper body at the ball. It's just not the way you do it. You hit a baseball out in front of you, out to the side and in front. If you lunge your body forward, then the ball's going to be behind you. That's not where you want to be. So once again, let's watch this. I brace and keep my head behind the ball. And I allow my momentum to pull me up onto my left side. I hope this video helped you guys out. I think it's a pretty big deal. If you're not getting this right, then almost nothing else you work on is going to be right either. You have to maintain these angles. So the old adage of keeping your head still is important. Keeping your head down is important. But here's the truth. You can't keep your head down if your head is in front of the ball, because there's no space for your rotation to allow you to get into lateral side bend. It's people whose head is too on top of the ball that forces them to goat hump because they've run out of space. I hope you hit them long and hit them straight. I really encourage you to go check out myswingevolution.com, and that's where I have my video, The Hogan Code, where I talk about my journey to learn to swing like Mr. Hogan and all the fruits and benefits that it brought to my life. So hit them long and hit them straight.